Here's a quick video showcasing some of the interesting things you can do using book pages in SAP Enable Now. So this slide here is taken from a longer course I'm developing on customizing the web assistant. What I wanted to do was show what parameters are available to customize the colors in the carousel, and also wanted to kind of emphasize what aspects of the carousel that affected by providing all of that on this single book page. So I've got a table here that's got A through H of different parameters that can be specified to control the look of the carousel. And I've got callouts pointing to different elements that they can affect. So for example, the UIFG parameter is the user interface foreground. That is A, so that will affect this one down here and this one over here and that one over there. But that's all very well having those callouts on there, but it's a lot easier if you can really see what's changing. So I've rigged this up so that if I click on a parameter, it will show me exactly what things that is changing. So I can see here that the A's, where I selected UIFG, I've now got my call out highlighted here, and it points to all of the different things that might be affected by A. And I can do that for all of the parameters here. Here's UI background, accent foreground, accent background. I can actually click anywhere in the table and it will show these, and it will always highlight the object here. But I can also click on the callouts themselves. So I can click on C and see what else that would affect. So I know it would affect the text here, it affects the icon here and the icon there as well. I can do that for any of them by clicking on their callout here, or I can click on the parameter in the table here. And I can click on the default button to put it back to what it would look like if you provide no configuration on there. So that's a fairly effective way of providing all of this information and really bringing home exactly what's going to change in relation to what parameters. So I'm not going to show you how to build that, but I am going to point out what's going on in the background here. So the main part of this is I have 9 different images all layered on top of each other here for the carousel, each one having one of those parameters switched on to that gold color, so that you can see what's changing there. And then because I've got them all layered on top of each other, I only want to show one at a time, and I do that via my old friend, the object visibility control. So here I have my 9 objects of the various images. So to trigger the display of one or other of those, what I do is I've got an active area over the relevant row in the table here. And I also have an action on my call out buttons here as well. So whenever I click on one of those, if I say I take this active area here for A, what I do then is I trigger displaying a particular screenshot using my object visibility control. Now, getting the highlights on these callouts is the interesting part. What I actually have is I have a whole new set of buttons that are on the top of these, which are my highlight buttons. And I have a whole group there with subgroups for each of the different buttons, because there's 3 buttons for A, 2 for B, 3 for C, and so on. And I want to be able to show and hide all of those as a group. So I have the group hidden, the group objects within that group visible. So when I show and hide that group, it shows all of those buttons. Now, because that can be triggered by either clicking on a callout button here or by clicking on the row in the table here, I could basically have both of those things triggering a bunch of things themselves, but it's a lot easier to use some daisy chaining of actions here. So all I've done is I said for each of my screenshots, so say for my A screenshot here, which shows everything with the text and whatever highlighted for the UIFG parameter, what I've done is I've put in actions for that to say when that screenshot of the carousel is displayed, then also show the A buttons. And when that screenshot's no longer displayed, hide the A buttons. And I just do that for each image here. So I don't need to have showing and hiding multiple buttons and have those actions in multiple places, because I can trigger those by an event that happens on another object, in this case the screenshot. So this is a really good way of layering functionality in here and reducing the amount that you actually have to build into this by using an event on one object to trigger an action on another object, in this case displaying it. So that's how all of this hangs together. It's really not that difficult once you know what you're doing. Again, I've just got a bunch of screenshots. I've got a bunch of buttons. The arrows are always there. I've got a few active areas on the table here. And then I've got highlighted versions of all of these buttons that are the ones that are displayed over the top of the red buttons to show which one's currently active. And that's it. So nice bit of functionality there and a good way of providing interaction in your training and really emphasizing the key things, which in this case is if I change this parameter, what's going to change on my carousel? So that was it. Hope you found that useful. Go think about how you can apply this to your training, and I'll be along with more examples of things that you can do with book pages later.